We have a new month upon us. October is here, and we did not finish off the month of September the way we wanted to. It's all good. We finished the day 1-2 on Friday. We cashed in on the Louisville -2.5. Man, that's where you got to buy the points sometimes because we had to win on that game-winning field goal. We did lose on Jawar Jordan's rushing yards as the NC State defense completely shut him down. We also lost on the Utah teaser +10 and the under 50. The under hit, but we didn't get it done with Utah +10s. They ended up losing by that game by like 13, 14 points. Hate to see that there. 1-2 on the day. You can see our year-to-date record right here. We finished the month of September just one game above 500. If you count the push, then that means we finished the month at 500. Hate to see that, but it's all good. We're going to bounce back this month of October. You know why? Because we've got 4 sports this month. We've got baseball playoffs starting tomorrow. We've got NBA starting at the end of the month. We've got college football. We've got NFL. And we've got NHL. That's 5 sports. So we've got a lot of ways to make money here. So trust me, you don't want to miss out on anything that's going on this channel. We didn't have the best of months, but we didn't have the worst of months either. When you finish at 500 or barely above it, and you know how to manage your unit sizes correctly, and you know how to manage your bankroll, trust me, you can still make money and finish the month off. But this is a part of the game. It's a marathon and not a sprint. You guys know that. So if you want to be a part of this marathon and continue to see how we're going to run the bag, make sure you click that like button and that subscribe button so this way you guys can stay up to date on all the latest picks and plays that we're dropping right here on this channel. But like I mentioned, I've got 3 bets for tonight's game, so let's dive into it. So we got Monday Night Football. Hope everyone had a successful Sunday and wasn't screwed over too bad by the horrible reffing that went in that Jets and Chiefs game. I mean, that was absolutely awful. It's hard enough to handicap these athletes, right? And now you got to account for the referees as well. That just makes it really tough. But hey, I'm just happy that we don't have to split our attention between 2 Monday Night Football games because what was up with that, man? Like, I mean, I know they used to do it for like the first game of the year, but I mean, I was like, I hope this is not an every week thing because I hate dividing my attention between 2 games. It's a marquee primetime matchup. We want to be all in, all focused on that one matchup. And that's what we have tonight in the Seahawks game as they take on the Giants, who are at home. While I'm not the biggest fan of this game or either of these teams, I think one side does have the advantage in this one. And that's a pretty big variable in the NFL. And that's because of one thing. And that's called rest, right? I know it's only week 4, but we're already starting to see these injuries pile up all over the league, and the Giants are one of those teams that's been hit with the injury bug. Starting with their Saquon Barkley, they're also dealing with an injury to their starting left tackle, Andrew Thomas, and truthfully, he's their best offensive lineman. That offensive line crew needs him badly because, I mean, they're just absolutely terrible. They don't give Daniel Jones any type of time to throw that ball. So if you got your leading running back out and your leading left tackle out, the Giants already have an uphill climb, but the Giants are coming into this with the maximum amount of days of rest that you can get for an NFL team, excluding the bye week. So they played last Thursday night, right? And now they're playing on Monday night. So that gives them 9 full days of rest to be able, not only for them to get their bodies recovered, which you guys know is a big thing in the NFL, but also they get to prepare for the Seattle Seahawks during that time. They get all that time to basically go through film, break down the analysis, put together the game plan, so this way they can attack this game tonight at home and come out with the W. Now, the Seahawks have to travel all the way across the country to face this Giants team, and not only did they not have as much time to recover, but they also didn't have as much time to prepare. The Seahawks do boast a better record at 2-1, but I do think that the record's a little bit deceiving when you look at their wins. That one of those wins came against the Carolina Panthers, who still have not won a game yet this year, and in that matchup they were without Bryce Young. They had Andy Dalton playing, so the backup quarterback was there, and then also they placed the Detroit team, which was banged up with a bunch of defensive injuries in that game, and they barely escaped in overtime in that matchup. So don't get me wrong, a win is a win. You're happy to get the W, but you know, I think it was one of those things where that 2-1 record, it's a little bit deceiving, and when they faced the Rams in game 1, they didn't look all that hot. They lost that game like 30-13. Now, the Seahawks have been good to start the year on offense, and I have to give them the credit. They are scoring points, but they haven't really faced any top-tier defenses, and now they have to go on the road, face a Giants squad that's not only rested and prepared, but they're also getting a ton of pressure on quarterbacks as well. The 6th highest rate in the league and leading the league in blitz percentage, and that could cause some problems for Geno Smith and company. So while I do believe that the Giants have had a poor start to start the year, I think we're getting a little bit of an overreaction here, and I've seen the line already flip in this matchup. The Giants opened up as favorites at -1.5. Now I'm seeing Seattle as the favorite at -2 on certain books. So I'm just going to go with a teaser in this matchup, and I think that's the way to go. The teasers have been absolutely amazing to us this year in the NFL. If you tuned into our Telegram channel yesterday, we cashed in on a late night Sunday Night Football teaser. We cashed in on an early game teaser. So teasers have been really working for us. us really well, even though it didn't work for us in the Utah college football matchup. But in the NFL, it's been gold. So I'm going to run back to that well today. I'm going to take the Giants +8, and I'm going to take the over 41. Now, the Giants might be 1-2, but they face two of the best teams in the league in the Cowboys and the 49ers. Like I said, Barkley and Thomas, they're still game time decisions. We've got to see if they're going to play. But I think due to the preparation and the rest that this team was afforded, it gives them a very, very big advantage here. Now, this one should stay close because of that, and I'm fine with taking the touchdown insurance. But if this line does drop throughout the day, for the teaser's sake, make sure that you guys are getting the 7.5 touchdown key number. So don't try to get it at 7 or 6.5. If you need to buy the extra point, or just monitor the lines all day. But you do want to get that 7.5 key number. As for the over, I really love this. Truthfully, I would take the over just at the 47 mark, but I'm going to buy the insurance on the points. I don't trust either of these defenses at all. This is not the Legion of Boom that we're used to seeing from the Seattle Seahawks, and it hasn't been that way for a while. Seattle is 27th in points per game allowed at over 29, and the Giants are not much better. They're 30th, so they're actually worse, giving up close to 30 points per game. And then when you dive into the numbers even more, Seattle boasts the second worst defense in the NFL in terms of total yards given up. Only the Broncos, and we know how bad the Broncos have been, and we saw that 70-point shellac in the game up 2 weeks ago, right? Only the Broncos have given up more yards per game than the Seattle Seahawks. So that means that Daniel Jones, this is a big game for him. He should be able to get a few touchdowns here, a few scores here. He's still trying to make that money off that big contract they gave him, and this is just a must-win situation for the Giants. They cannot afford to fall to 1-3. So while I think Geno and company is going to be able to score some points themselves, they're 6th in the NFL in points per game. They should be able to score some points too. I think this one has the potential to turn into a shootout between Daniel Jones and Geno Smith, and I think one of these teams can win the game. That's why we have such a close line. So what I'm going to do is just get the insurance here based on the fact that the Giants have had more rest, based on the fact that they've had more time to prepare. The Seattle Seahawks have to travel on the road. Both of these defenses have been susceptible. Because of that, we're going to get a close game, a high-scoring game. So give me the Giants at +8, and then the over 41 points on the 6-point teaser here, -120 odds, standard across the book as my first best bet of the day. Now, for my second best bet of the day, I'm going to go with a player prop, and I'm going to go for a 2-for-1 special here. So I'm going to give you 2 bets in the same game on the same player, and then this way we can cash in on this one, and then we can sweep the board and call it a night, right? So what I'm going to go with is, for the first bet, I'm going to go with Kenneth Walker over 14.5 rushing attempts, -130. The second year back has made a name for himself as Seattle's leading guy. He runs the ball hard. I love the way that he goes in between the tackles, but he also has the speed and the burst to crack one out at any time, to go 20, 30, 40, 50 yards and take one to the house. So I love that. So far in 3 games this year, he's had 12 carries, 17 carries, and 18 carries. So he's gone over this total in 2 of 3 games, and they got blown out in that first matchup, so he probably would have had more carries if the Seahawks didn't have to come from behind from so early. The Giants' run defense is in the bottom 5 in the league, and teams are exploiting this. In game 1, Tony Pollard, 14 carries, 2 touchdowns, and that was a 40-0 blowout win. So if that game is closer, Tony Pollard probably gets even more touches. Game 2, James Conner, 23 carries for the Cardinals and 1 touchdown. Game 3, Christian McCaffrey for the 49ers, 18 carries, 85 yards, 1 touchdown. All of these teams have run the ball pretty heavily against the Giants, exploiting that run defense. But what have they also done? Scored a rushing touchdown in that game. And guess what that means? Walker should be able to score a touchdown in this matchup. So that's the second best bet. Not only is he going to get over his rushing attempts at over 14.5, but he's also going to get a touchdown today. So I would take his anytime touchdown, -103 odds on Caesars. I'm seeing -110 on some books, -120 on certain books. I still like that value because he scored at 2 touchdowns in each of the last 2 games. So that's 4 touchdowns total. And like I said, he's going to get the volume in this matchup. The Giants have given up a rushing touchdown to every team they faced so far this year. Walker also has the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield as well, which is a big advantage. So I love that factor for him. This is a matchup where Walker is going to get the touches. We're seeing a spread that's low in between the threes. So that means that this one should stay close. And if it comes close, we know Seattle, what they like to do around the goal line. I feel like Carroll, he's learned from the Super Bowl, right, when he did not run the ball with Marshawn Lynch. But now he finds himself, when he's around that goal line, 1, 2, 3 yards out, he's going to run that ball. And I think Walker is going to have the opportunity to get the touches in key significant portions, or he can break one out for a long touchdown again, like we've seen in the past. But I think Walker scores a touchdown. I believe that he gets over his rushing attempts here as well, and he's going to find the end zone, and we're going to be able to sweep the board. So that is my 3 best bets of the day. We're going with a teaser, Giants +8, and over 41 is the first best bet. The second best bet, we're going Kenneth Walker, over 14.5 rushing attempts. I would play the 15.5. I'm seeing that on certain books. I wouldn't play it much higher than that. And then I'm also going with the Kenneth Walker anytime touchdown, minus 105 on Caesars, but it's up to minus 120 on certain books, so make sure you shop around there. That's 3 bets on your Monday Night Football slate, 3 winners that are coming your way for us to start off the month of October. Now, listen, guys, we've got playoffs starting tomorrow in baseball, and I already have a future series bet that I want to lock in. I was going to give it today, but I'm going to give it tomorrow, so you don't want to miss that. We've got 4 playoff games starting tomorrow. Definitely don't want to miss those picks, as baseball has been absolutely amazing for us this year. We saw our year-to-date record in baseball earlier this year. I'm going to drop it right there. But put that MLB record right there. You see that? That's what we've been doing in baseball this year. So now that playoffs is here, we want to be able to run this thing up, and I don't want you guys to miss that. So make sure you guys are tapping in tomorrow's show, so this way you guys can grab that. Not only that series future, which is almost at plus 100 odds, but also my best bets in baseball playoffs tomorrow. And then we're going to come back to the table, be able to celebrate a sweep. As always, let's make sure we get into that money, and make sure that I hear from you guys inside the comment or inside the Telegram group as we try to get to that bag together and make some money. Dictate your fate, and I'll see y'all tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be celebrating a 3-0 sweep as we get on the right track for the 4th quarter in this month of October. Let's get it, guys. Later, y'all.